long been a student of marketing, and I love the way that manufacturers come up with the names of their products. I especially like this in aviation because manufacturers will give a slight numerical tweak to a product name to indicate some major upgrades. And this obviously is the case in the Challenger 605 becoming the Challenger 650, which happened in 2015. There are some important differences between the two, particularly when it comes to operational costs and creature comforts. We'll get into the cost to operate momentarily, but I'll mention the upgraded cabin seats, which are larger, I won't say why, a better equipped galley, and a more technologically advanced cabin management system in the 650. Looking at cruising speed, both the Challenger 605 and 650 fly at a normal speed of 459 knots. To fly 100,000 miles in a single year, both planes would have to fly 189 hours, which is pretty common. The fixed and direct costs involved with the operation vary between the Challenger 605 and the Challenger 650, and we'll do a dive into that now. The 605 burns fuel at the rate of 348 gallons per hour. If you calculate that at $5 per gallon, it would be $1,740 of fuel per hour. Airframe maintenance on the 605 is roughly $473 per hour, and engine reserves can be estimated at $493 per hour. This gives us direct operating costs of $2,706 per hour, which calculates annually at that 189 hours at $511,434 per year. The Challenger 650 burns 30 or more gallons fewer per hour because of improvements in engine efficiency. The fuel cost, therefore, at $5 per gallon is $1,585 per hour. And the maintenance is slightly lower on this newer aircraft that gives us an hourly direct operating cost of under $2,500 and annual operating budget of $471,000. That's more than $30,000 a year in savings. Crew on a Challenger 605, we calculate at $227,000 a year. But with the chaos in pilot employment around the world right now, that could definitely be a variable. Typical hangar expenses for either of the Challengers are just about $50,000 a year. Insurance is $27,000. Pilot training is $68,000, giving us combined annual cost, if we fly 100,000 miles, of roughly $885,000. Annual fixed costs are roughly the same on the 650 as the 605. So the annual budget of this aircraft can be calculated at just under $850,000 a year, excluding capital costs, of course. Historically, there's about a $3 million differential in the price of the two aircraft, and we're actually comparing those side by side in 2015. Over the course of a year, you'd pay approximately $35,000 more to fly the Challenger 605 over the Challenger 650, but gosh, it'd take you a lot of time to make up that $3 million differential. But once we get into the other differences, you may decide on the 650 after all. One of the biggest differences between the two aircraft is efficiency, which the 650's new GE CF34-3B MTO engine spring, along with a 5% increased thrust and a reduced takeoff field length. Another upgrade that Bombardier gave the Challenger 650 is the Vision flight deck, which includes Proline Fusion Advanced Avionics from Rockwell Collins. The 605 also uses Rockwell Collins avionics, but that aircraft comes outfitted with the Proline 21 cockpit. The pilot workload thereby is significantly reduced in the 650 with the latest avionics available. As I mentioned, the 650 has a 5% increase in thrust and a slightly longer range. They both fly on either side of the 4,000 nautical mile range. The 650 also, as I mentioned earlier, has a completely redesigned cabin, including larger seats, bigger monitors, and a more technologically advanced cabin management system. The biggest reason we see someone choose a 605 over a 650 should be obvious to you: budget. The reasons they choose a 650: it's newer, it's more comfortable, it has increased efficiency, and the pilot workload is lower. I hope this helps. We'd love to give you on-the-spot evaluation or subscribe you to our market reports, which you can do by visiting wepush10.com/resources.